Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as I just finished my last video about how Novak Djokovic came to have COVID and the political blame game that's been going on between the state, federal governments and Tennis Australia, well, some late breaking news has just come out, and as the hearing is tomorrow at 10 AM, ABC News just released this story about how the government has just come out and said they didn't actually give him a guarantee to enter the country. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Here it is, just posted, ABC. Novak Djokovic did not have guaranteed entry to Australia, government lawyers argue. Novak Djokovic was not given an assurance by the federal government that his exemption to enter Australia without being vaccinated would be accepted. Government lawyers said in court filings ahead of a Monday hearing, which is technically today in 10 hours. The tennis star is fighting to overturn a decision by the Department of Home Affairs to quash his visa because he had not received the COVID-19 vaccination. In my previous video, I've showed about the Djokovic's legal team and I went through all their legal arguments. So you can have a look at that one, but let's take a look at what they say. Djokovic's legal team said the Serbian player had an assessment from the department that his responses on his travel declaration indicated he met the requirements for quarantine-free entry into the country. But the government submission released late on Sunday night said the department's email was not an assurance that his so-called medical exemption would be accepted. So it was an email that they sent him that said, what did it say? And his responses could be questioned and verified on his arrival. So that must have been what they were talking about before in my last video, where they filled out this submission on the app or online, I guess. And then you get an email that says you can be questioned and verified on your arrival as to the declaration of your medical exemption status. So what does it say? There is no such thing as an assurance of entry by a non-citizen into Australia. Rather, there are criteria and conditions for entry and reasons for refusal of cancellation of a visa, the submission said. However, it also said in previous videos that I've done that he had no conditions on his visa that said it required him to have a COVID vaccine. That was in the legal documents. There was no condition on his visa. And now the government's saying that there are reasons for refusal or cancellation of a visa, and there are conditions of entry. The email from the department stated that the applicant's responses to his Australian traveller declaration indicated that he met the requirements for quarantine-free travel into Australia. But that says nothing about the power of the minister or her delegate, which we heard about in a previous video, the delegate that came in and questioned him about his forms when he was being strong-armed by the ABF, the Australian Border Force, when they told him you have until, I think, 8:30 to answer these questions or get reference from a lawyer. And at like 7:40 in the morning, they were like, no, we're not going to do it anymore. We're going to take you to the detention hotel. So that happened. So that says nothing about the power of the minister or her delegate to interrogate those responses. The evidence upon which they were based and conclude that a cancellation power was enlivened under the Act upon his arrival into Australia. So what they're saying is he doesn't have the proper documentation to come in, which is what they said when he met the Australian Border Force, when he arrived. It also challenged Djokovic's claim for a medical exemption from Australia's vaccination requirements on the basis that he contracted COVID-19 in mid-December. So, quote, there is no suggestion that the applicant had acute major medical illness in December 2021. All he has said is that he tested positive for COVID-19, the government submission stated. Now, that's all we have for now because it's 10 past 12 in the morning and this hearing is at 10 AM, so in just about under 10 hours. But the government is disputing it. Obviously they would. So we will see what's going to happen in a few hours at this hearing. So far, I was convinced by Novak Djokovic's lawyers and their papers that were lodged. But now the government is saying there was no such thing as an assurance of entry. And they're disputing the letter or approval that was given by the Home Affairs Minister. We'll see how it all goes down because you've got approval from panels from Tennis Australia. You've got approval from the panel, independent medical panel, from the Victorian state government. And then he thought he had an admission for entry into the country with an exemption. But now the government is saying, not so fast. We'll see you in court. And that's exactly what's going to happen in a few hours. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video out there and we'll see you in the next one.